Have you ever felt just completely stuck with your weight and just feel like no matter what you do, no matter what you try, even if it's worked before, just nothing was working? Well, if you're shaking your head, that was me just a couple months ago. And I've lost a lot of weight before, not meaning to totally brag, but before pregnancy, had lost over 100 pounds and was able to keep it off. And then post my first pregnancy, slowly but surely, I was able to get off the 50 pounds that I had gained during my first pregnancy. But here I am, postpartum number 2, and no matter what I did, no matter what different things I tried, even the new things, but especially the old things that had time and time again been my winners, the things that really truly helped me thrive. And I'm talking things from exercising daily, counting my calories, switching up what I'm eating, keeping carbs in the morning. I even tried intermittent fasting and keto, but nothing was working. I was so desperate. I didn't feel like myself. I started to feel very lethargic, really exhausted, not feeling like I emotionally had it together in ways that I did before, and I just didn't know what to do. But I did know who to turn to. And I reached out to a friend who I'd been watching her journey online for the past couple years. You know, she was one of those beautiful, shining lights, a girl that I knew back in college, and I'd been following her for a while on Instagram. And I saw a shift in her shortly after she had her second baby, and she started really changing her health. And there was something new and different that I noticed about her, and just the way that she talked and the way that she presented herself. And I knew that she was the one that I had to reach out to for help. She was so good at educating her audience on her social media that I knew she was the one who would have the answers for me. And if you have some of these same answers and you're struggling, then she may just have the answers for you. So I hope you stick along and around and listen to this episode with my dear friend, Kaitlin Riceputo, and you learn from her as I have, and you start to learn how to thrive in your health and not just survive in your life as a mother. I'm looking forward to growing with you. Let's do this, Mama. Hey Mama, welcome to the Energized Mama podcast, the podcast designed exclusively for moms navigating the challenging yet pivotal years of parenting children aged 5 and under. Are you longing to raise good, godly kids, all while preserving your own well-being and energy? Do you find yourself thinking, how can I keep up with my little ones, or how can I raise them to be loving and godly? I'm Cheyenne, and I've walked exactly in your shoes. Honestly, on some days, I'm still there. I know what it's like to face the daily demands of motherhood and wish for more energy to be the loving, godly mom I aspire to be. I've been there with a strong-willed toddler and a desire to balance being a devoted wife, a mom, a stepmom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here to tell you that it is possible to raise your children with strong values and boundless love, all while nurturing your own energy and well-being. In this podcast, you'll find valuable insights on managing your time and boosting your vitality. You'll gain practical tips for disciplining your children with grace and wisdom. And you'll join me in the journey of raising your kids to be good, godly individuals. My mission is to help you thrive as a mom while experiencing the joy of watching your children grow in faith and character. We'll explore how you can maintain your energy, because the most godly, loving mom is the one who takes care of herself too. So go ahead, Mama, grab those headphones, pour yourself that refreshing green smoothie, and get ready to be #momspired, because rest assured, you're no longer alone on this incredible journey of motherhood. You fabulous mamas tuning in today. I just want to say, whether this is the first time you've tuned in to the Energized Mama podcast, or if it's the 50th time, I'm just so honored and so blessed to have you here today, especially because my podcast is taking a pivot. And honestly, when I say I look at it as our podcast, because I really take so much time and energy and focus in really getting to know each and every one of you, and especially in the private Facebook community that has grown and flourished since beginning this podcast. If you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, no worries. You can come find us at momnationcommunity.com. I'll also have a link for you in the bottom of the show notes below. But most importantly is I really like to listen to you viewers. I love to hear what my audience is wondering about. What are you guys Googling about? What's keeping you up at night? And recently, several of you have opened up to me and just shared with me honestly, some of you through tears, just some of the emotional and the physical struggles of early motherhood. And I know these so well myself because in about 2 months, I'll be celebrating my first son's fourth birthday. So I'm almost 4 years a mom myself, and it really is a total shift in your identity. And it is not just a shift mentally and emotionally, but we also know physically. And pregnancy and childbirth and all of that, where it can be one of the biggest blessings in our world, it can also bring such a huge shift in our body, our makeup, and how we know our bodies to be, right? I know I've struggled for sure between different pregnancies of trying to figure out who am I and where and when do I feel best in my body. And if you're there, if you're shaking your head like, yes, girl, preach. Oh my gosh, that's me. And you have made it to the best episode, if I can say so myself, because I specifically brought on a great guest for you today. Not just somebody that is near and dear to my heart, but someone that actually has been through this journey herself and has come out on the other end and has found such success. The woman that I have here for you guys today, I cannot wait to introduce you to her. We've actually been friends since college. Not to age us too much, but we've actually known each other for, if I do the math correctly now, oh my goodness, is it 18 years, 15 years? Because
Yeah.
we met on our first ever freshman dorm floor. Like that's how we first connected. And it's just surreal to now be flashing forward as married women, moms. And now my friend, she is currently a senior Ruby ambassador health coach with a wellness company you may have heard of called Plexus. What we both have come to love about this company is that it has a sole focus on gut microbiome and lasting, yes, lasting weight loss, mamas, through healing the body. Now, after walking a tough journey with her own health struggles that no doctors could give her answers to, she decided to educate and equip herself with the knowledge to heal her own body. Now, my friend shares that she's daily learning and growing her knowledge in health and wellness to be able to help others find healing too. So, this has now become her greatest mission and platform in life. So, not to mention all these amazing, great things about her, but she also happens to be a mama of two absolutely gorgeous children, and she's
Oh.
married to her high school sweetheart. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce my friend and our new gut microbiome expert, Mrs. Kaitlin Riceputo. Hello, gorgeous
Oh,
lady.
you're so sweet. What an introduction. Well, I'm honored to be on here, and I'm grateful that we connected and have the same heart mission.
Likewise, likewise. It's so funny when you think back of, I feel like the women in your life and you think back like, okay, how have I known them or where did I meet them? As opposed to like where you are in life now. And
Yeah.
Kaitlin, I'll never forget when I first really I felt like connected with you, or one of my first memories strongly with you is actually when your dear mom took pictures of our entire floor out in
Yes.
City Place, out in West Palm Beach. And I was just like, oh my gosh, what a dynamic duo. Like this mom-daughter
Oh.
team is just fantastic. And not to mention something else about Kaitlin is that she has an amazing twin sister, Bethany, who was also on our floor. So I'm just a huge
Yep.
fan of you and your family, girl.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I'm a huge fan of yours.
Thank you. Thank you. And what's amazing is, we recently reconnected, and I think we've really gotten closer than ever before, simply because I came to you with a struggle. I came to you with a need, and it was right when I moved back to the United States about 6 months ago now. And I was just in quite a desperate place. I'm someone who has a little bit of a health background myself. When I first met you, I was about 100 pounds overweight. And then I also began educating myself and healing my body from the inside out. But all
Yeah.
these things that worked before I was pregnant and I lost the weight, before I was pregnant and then after my first son, nothing was working anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was like postpartum, take two, it was like a whole new ball game. And it really, really threw me off. I was quite in shock because I had such a healthy pregnancy. I had like a magnificent birth. It was really one of those things.
Yeah.
It was like, wow, I would do this again. So to have a
Yeah.
postpartum where I was so thrown off that like no matter what I did, and I know there's so many moms listening to us right now that have this same story, like, and it can
Yeah.
happen after your first baby too, but second, third, fourth, like your body changes so much and is impacted by so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember, Kaitlin, when I came to you, you were like, girl, you got to heal that gut. Like, you got to cleanse that gut. And I was like, wait, what, huh? Like, what do you mean? Like, I
Yep.
want to lose weight, and I feel like I'm having like a lot of hormonal up and downs. And so it totally threw me off at first, but I want you to share with the moms listening. And of course, I'm going to take notes too, because I love learning from you. But why is it so
Oh,
important when you have these issues, whether it's like weight loss or just feeling uncomfortable in your own skin? Why would you say is it important to start with the gut?
good question. So I'm sure you and many people listening have heard the quote that all disease begins in the gut. But the
Mm,
second part of that quote that not a lot of people have heard and understand is all disease ends in the gut. All disease begins and ends with inside the gut microbiome. And when I heard that second part of the quote, it really helped me understand that we can try and throw darts in the dark at, you know, lowering your calorie count, increasing your exercise, getting on a multivitamin, balancing the hormones. We can try to throw darts at all the different parts of our body, all the different organs. But when we are missing the central focus, those darts that we're throwing in the dark are basically watered down and don't do much. And
mm,
so when people understand the weight that that quote carries, you really start to see that when you begin to heal the gut, everything else begins to heal simultaneously because the gut microbiome is the control center. It's the powerhouse that basically sends the coding to all the other organs and systems in our body to tell them what to do, how to do their job, and how to heal and begin working properly. So I might have girls that come to me and say, my doctor gave me a diagnosis of PCOS.
mm,
And so their doctors are immediately putting them on birth control or things to get rid of the excess estrogen and focusing just on the ovaries and focusing on foods to prevent cystic growth. And then I tell them, hey, did you know that PCOS is directly linked to too much insulin output? And when you get rid of the excess insulin that your body's producing by drinking our gut drink, you can actually turn off your PCOS symptoms. And I've had multiple girls just by getting the gut healthy and drinking this gut drink that we all drink and getting on good probiotics. After 6 months to a year, their PCOS is gone.
wow.
And diagnosis is that doctors told them they would live with for the rest of their life and would make them struggle with weight. And when I told them, no, you don't have to hold on to that weight. And no, PCOS is just a symptom of your gut screaming out for help. And so when we focus on the gut microbiome, what we're doing is we're making the job way easier. We don't have to try and find all these formulas on our own to fix the thyroid or fix the liver or fix the hormones or fix the reproductive system. When you get your gut healthy, it creates a communication in the body that's a healthy communication so that it can start healing the organs on its own because our body is designed by God to do a really good job healing itself.
Mhm.
And sometimes the body stops healing itself because the gut microbiome is so inflamed, there is no longer communication, proper communication to the other organs.
Mm,
And so the thing about the gut microbiome is that when we think about the gut, most people think just their stomach. But the actual thing is we have a gut microbiome in our brain. We have a gut microbiome in our intestinal tract, in our stomach. as women, we have our own gut microbiome in our vaginal tract, even. We have a gut microbiome in our mouth, on our skin. And so the overarching one that we are all hearing about right now is, digestion, the gut microbiome in your stomach, because every single thing we put into our mouth has to go through the stomach first and then goes through the bloodstream, and then the nutrients go to the organs that it needs. So, for example, when you have a jacked up gut microbiome in your stomach and you're not eating well, guess what? That communication to the brain microbiome is now affected. Now the brain microbiome is not healthy. And so now someone might be experiencing anxiety, depression, OCD, panic attack, all of these things emotionally. And so, what does the doctor do? Immediately put them on medication.
Mhm.
Or the gut microbiome in the stomach might be inflamed. And so now someone's skin microbiome is getting eczema, psoriasis, breakouts, acne. And so, what does the doctor do? Put them on acne medicine, eczema cream, psoriasis cream. Or again, for women, the gut microbiome in the stomach is inflamed. So then now the vaginal microbiome is inflamed, and UTIs and yeast infections. And so what does the doctor do? Yeast cream, antibiotics. And
Mhm.
so the central hub is comes down to that gut microbiome in our stomach, because everything first has to bypass through our intestines. And when we can get that healthy, then everything else falls into place.
Wow. I don't know about you ladies listening, but I've been taking crazy notes. Like what's beautiful about podcasts is you can pause and you can rewind and listen to this over and
Yes.
over because I'm kind of like, and I know a lot about this, Caitlin, but I'm just kind of mind blown and I can only imagine like what a relief actually this can be to a
Yeah.
mom who has one or two or 12 of these different conditions or systems. And I know
Yeah.
is are if they have one or two, they may have a whole plethora. Because, like you said, it reminds me of like if one gut microbiome is off, it's like a domino effect. Like,
Exactly.
it starts to affect them all. But the wonderful thing that you shared is if you start healing one or you start healing yourself, like you can start to really fix what is
Yeah.
on. And something that I feel is a huge shift in you and just with how you are helping us moms like learn about our bodies is you're really helping place, I feel like a huge significance on like healing the body versus fixing symptoms.
Exactly.
And you remind me a lot of back in my days when I was a group exercise instructor and personal trainer. I would have clients all the time that would ask me, of course, like, well, how do I get a six-pack abs? Or how can I,
Yeah.
non-flabby arms and things? And it's like, yeah, there's always exercises you can do like to help build the
Yeah.
muscle underneath. But it's like at the end of the day, you can't really target, one
Yeah.
area. It's like let's actually help focus on healing you or bringing movement into your life that makes you feel good and that
Yeah.
de-stresses your body so that eventually you're going to see the results that you want, but not just by trying to spot treat. And I feel that's unfortunately a lot of what our Western more doctors do is that they try to just
Exactly.
spot treat and not look at how the body connects. And so
Exactly.
something I've seen a shift in, as with so much in our culture, though, that they can take something that's really beautiful and really great. And for instance, with like having some sort of a detox or cleanses, or, they seem to be
Yeah.
everywhere nowadays. And then it just becomes so marketed and people
Exactly.
want to try them, right? Because they're like, okay, I get it. Okay, I'm convinced. Like, yes, detoxing, cleansing my body, getting rid of toxins, putting in antioxidants. Yes, that all sounds
Yeah.
great. So, what I want to know from your perspective, especially because you have found something that really works, is like when a
Yeah.
woman tries to like cleanse or reset her body, like why would you say maybe some of these other like cleanses out there, these juice cleanses, like why would you say that maybe those do not often work as well or like help them keep their weight off?
Yeah. So there's a lot of research that is starting to come out right now. And you'll obviously start to hear a lot about people going on the Ozempic injections or Mounjaro or the semaglutide. And the reason why that is becoming so popular is because that, nutritionists, doctors even are just now starting to see the massive, staggering percentage of Americans that are walking around in pre-diabetic range.
Mm-hmm.
And now, even further, the connection of what your blood sugar levels do in terms of holding on weight and then also turning your body into a fat burning machine. And the thing is that your blood glucose levels have so much more to do with than just weight. It also has a ton to do with how fast you're going to age, inflammation markers in your body. And there is, I mean, I read this quote, it's 84. This was actually not, this was in, I think, 2022. They took this census, but 84 million Americans are walking around in pre-diabetic range. That's one in
Wow.
three Americans.
That's mind blowing.
One in three Americans are pre-diabetic. Well, where does that leave the diabetic range? The
Right.
rest? The
Yeah.
rest of Americans?
Seriously.
So that tells us basically we're all walking around with way too much glucose in our blood.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when your body has too much glucose, their body is working overtime to put insulin out to get that glucose out. And every time that relationship happens between the glucose and the insulin, and guess what's also being put out? Cortisol, the stress
Mm-hmm.
hormone that makes your body hold on to belly fat, makes your body hold on to fat everywhere else. It makes your body impossible to burn fat. It also then starts burning your adrenals. And so not only are you now producing excess cortisol that's creating belly fat, but now you're putting your adrenals into failure mode. And your adrenals are the glands that are in charge of helping keep a fast metabolism. Your adrenals and your thyroid work hand in hand to produce hormones to keep your body burning fat and to keep your metabolism going really, really strong so that you can eat without storing the food as fat.
Mm-hmm.
And if everyone were to look at that statistic, we could pretty much be honest with ourselves and say, more than likely, I fall into that category. And
Exactly.
about 2 years ago, I had a self realization when I looked at my own blood work and I saw that my fasting glucose was in the high 90s. I want to say 97 or 98.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and 99 is the marker for pre-diabetic.
No
I
way.
was 1 point away from being in pre-diabetic range, and
Wow.
I was eating healthy. I was gluten free.
Right.
I hardly ate sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I said, what in the world? How could this be possible? I don't even eat that much sugar. If I do, it's healthy, organic, dark chocolate, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
how is this happening? Well, just a stressful lifestyle alone can produce high output of cortisol, which then starts creating this really vicious, dangerous cycle with poor adrenal glands and high levels of glucose. And they all work together hand in hand. And the thing is, pregnancy and birth, even if they were the most beautiful, perfect textbook pregnancy and labors, it
Mm-hmm.
is a trauma to the female body. And
Right.
it's what's called a beautiful trauma.
Mm-hmm.
But you might not feel sadness and grief, but there are still traumas on the body that basically make the body go, whoa, what just happened? And during that time period, that postpartum time period, is when your body's kind of in that fight or flight mode.
Mm-hmm.
So the adrenals aren't functioning well. So then it starts this vicious cycle of high cortisol, which means we're now having extra sugar cravings. So then it starts this vicious cycle with the cortisol, the blood glucose. So then our gut's inflamed, and now we're struggling with the brain microbiome dealing with anxiety and depression.
Mhm.
And what has Western medicine done? Just put this beautiful label on it. Let's normalize it. Let's
Mm.
normalize it, and let's just give them drugs for it. And we'll just
Yep.
call it postpartum depression.
Yeah.
And we'll just give you a drug for it and
Mhm.
tell you there's nothing you can do about it, and just go on your merry way. And
Yes.
when
Yes.
I started experiencing that, I was like, no,
Mm.
I,
Mhm.
there's so much better. And I want moms to take the power back in their hands and know that you don't have to just survive.
Amen. You can thrive. You can thrive.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you've shown that like in yourself. And I know just from our private conversations, like you introduced me to mom after mom after mom that has overcome this, that it's not just like a fun thing to talk about. It's literal people's lives, like transformation happening. And I'm so glad that it's so funny. It was like you were reading my brain because I wanted you to talk about hormones and you instantly went there because we see
Yeah.
from your description and from your own experience, like how connected our gut health is to our hormone
Yeah.
balance. And
Yeah.
we know that stress is a common challenge for moms. We know that whether it is, like you said, like kind of the season I'm in postpartum, or just if your child, your youngest is 2, 3, 4, it's like, the stress doesn't necessarily go away. And especially if we don't help heal that it's just sometimes often compounds and only gets worse. So as
Yeah.
bring this episode to a close, Kaitlin, I would love if you would just share, like, briefly, how now knowing this, what's the best
Yeah.
attack for moms to do? Like, how can we, heal our gut and how can we balance our hormones? What would be the best first step to take?
So I would say first and foremost is to get on a really good supplement or drink that helps to heal your blood sugar levels. Because once your blood sugar levels are low, that goes hand in hand with getting rid of the inflammation. And the drink that I drink is a gut microbiome drink. It's a prebiotic fiber that lowers the blood sugar. And when you pair it with a really good quality probiotic, that together creates a relationship in the body where the good bacteria is going to actually survive in the gut, and the yeast is not going to kill it off. The excess blood sugar levels aren't going to keep your body inflamed. So that would be the first point of attack, is a really good pre and probiotic. The prebiotic is going to keep the probiotics strong so that a virus doesn't come and wipe them out. And then secondly is to get on a really good adrenal support supplement. And the one that I'm on is called MetaBurn. It has natural herbal adaptogens like rhodiola that is actually now being proven to fight obesity markers by creating levels of like elevated moods with the 5-HTP. So it's also a natural antidepressant, but over time, your adrenals are going to get the cushion, the nurture, the support that it needs after something like the trauma of birth and pregnancy takes the big hit on the adrenals. Also, getting the adrenals strong is going to really help get that metabolism going again and help naturally balance the hormones so that you have the good fat burning hormones working strong instead of the fat storing hormones being the strongest.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love everything that you're sharing because it's like when you break it down like this, it really does just make sense. And
Yeah.
I'm a walking testimony. You're a walking testimony. I mean, since I came to you in desperation, it was like, please help, please help.
Oh.
Nothing was, moving the scale. Nothing was making
Yeah.
my skin feel clear. Nothing was giving me energy in the morning. I mean, my baby still isn't sleeping through the night. And
Oh,
I have
yeah.
never felt so good though in these
That's
past months.
awesome.
And I've now lost 20 pounds since I
I'm
really
so
honestly
excited for you.
started working with you. So I don't want to keep this information to myself though. Kaitlin, as
Oh,
we bring this episode to a close, would you mind just sharing with the moms out there that are saying, yes, oh my gosh, I need this, I want this. How can they connect with you outside of this podcast?
yeah, absolutely. So, pretty much everyone connect with me first on Instagram, and that way they can see visuals and videos of what the products do and how they help them. And my Instagram handle is Kate_Riceputo. And Cheyenne can type that out even, but it's KAIT_Rice, like the food, PUTO. And you can connect with me there, send me a DM, and I would love to help coach you and get you started and help get you in a place of thriving instead of just surviving.
Amen. Amen, sister. Well, no
Mhm.
worries, mamas. I will put that link below so you can connect with her. And Kate, I just want to say thank you so much for being here today,
Wow, you're
sharing your
so
story and
welcome.
sharing your knowledge with us here.
Thanks for having me. It was
Wow, wow, wow. Well, thank you so much, Kaitlin. What a great interview was that, right? Honestly, I feel like I could have had her on for another hour and just continued to chat about this because this is real life stuff, right? I mean, it's not every day that you get someone talking to you so boldly and bluntly, but kind of really shaking up what modern medicine has taught us is the right thing, but we know that those old answers are just not working for us anymore. So I really hope you guys take a moment to scroll down to the bottom of this episode and go connect with Kaitlin on Instagram. She is such a bright light. She has so much free value and content that she offers on there. So I promise you'll walk away from her stuff just feeling better and feeling, yeah, just really seen, really seen. And I'm excited for you guys that these are going to be more of the norm on the Energized Mama podcast. I really don't want fluff episodes. I really want episodes that actually help you get the answers and get the results that you want, right? It's the reason why I call this podcast the Energized Mama, because you deserve to be an energetic mama. You don't have to be the exhausted, the over the top emotional all the time, the fatigued, the grumpy, the depressed mama. You can have it all, as in you can be more. And we all have our moments, but as far as a lifestyle, you can be energetic for your family, for your kids, your husband, and maybe most importantly, yourself and your relationship with God. So that's exactly what you're going to get this season, this year, this 2024 here on the Energized Mama podcast. But of course, I want to hear more from you. So please, if you would like to suggest some upcoming episodes, please let me know. You can find me on social media almost anywhere: Facebook, Instagram, at the Energized Mama. You can also come ahead and just go ahead and email me at Cheyenne@theenergizedmama.com. And of course, if you're driving or in a pickup line, like sometimes I am, go ahead and just scroll to the bottom of these notes and you'll have all those links below. So I adore you. I love you, Mama. You are so seen, so felt here. And I look forward to connecting with you on a future episode of the Energized Mama podcast. Can you believe that we have full on stepped into a brand new year? It's been a wild ride, hasn't it? I mean, even motherhood, with all of its joys, can also feel like a never ending roller coaster. But here's the real talk, right? You are not alone in this journey. Do you ever find yourself yearning for a way to just reignite your vitality, to balance the demands of motherhood? It can be so draining, leaving you emotionally exhausted. How about finding a way to revitalize your energy? You know, imagine having that boundless energy that you had in your 20s, and not just for your little ones, but for every facet of your life, even your husband. And how about reconnecting with yourself? I feel that it is time to rediscover your dreams amidst the beautiful chaos of motherhood, Mama. Believe me, I've walked the same path. I've felt the same struggles, and I understand the desire to just crave more. Motherhood is incredible, but so are your personal dreams. You are worth pursuing those dreams. I want to help you combat overwhelm, the stress, the never-ending to-do list. It really is time for you to finally break free from the cycle of overwhelm, sister. How about embracing healthy habits? Let's just get down to the nitty-gritty. Let's shed light on the habits that genuinely uplift your energy and well-being. It's time for you to craft a realistic plan. No more wondering or wandering without direction. You deserve a strategic, tailored blueprint designed just for you. Let's reignite unshakable energy. You can be that vibrant mama, radiating energy while caring for your little ones. Really quickly, before I keep going on a roll there, I want you to picture this. What if each day you woke up not just surviving, but thriving and with energy to spare? What if date nights with your husband became cherished rituals and not just, rare occasions? And what if me time was no longer a distant memory, but an actual integral part of your daily life? And what if you had a straightforward, tailor made plan that reignited your energy and allowed you to be that vibrant mama you long to be, all while giving your kids the love and care they deserve? Well, that's basically the heart of the program I designed called the Energized Mama Method. It's your personalized roadmap to reclaim your life from the chaos and infuse achievable, real world energy into your routine. Here's what you're about to learn. You're going to learn to manage your stress and ignite energy. You're going to discover really practical strategies to reduce the stress in your life and elevate your energy realistically. You'll embrace a super simple, personalized plan that nurtures new energy boosting habits without compromising your precious time with your kids or demanding monumental commitments. We've all been there, right? You sign up for this method, you're going to walk away with crystal clear vision. You won't be confused anymore, and you're going to know exactly where to focus. You're also going to have a roadmap that will change, that will actually help you know how to change, and it'll be clear and within reach. And ultimately, probably my most important and the thing that I'm most excited about is that you're just going to possess the self-assurance in yourself that's been missing, that will be needed to make long-lasting transformations. So mama, if all this feels amazing to you, do not wait anymore. Get ready to bid farewell to that overwhelm, right? Like recharge yourself throughout the day so that you can go to bed satisfied. And I'm really, really happy to let you know that throughout January, you can grab an exclusive deal on my method, 10% off. And you get 3 bonus trainings to supercharge your journey. But the clock is ticking. This offer stands only until February 1st. And after that, it's gone. And you're going to miss out on your chance to transform your life. Don't let the chaos of motherhood overwhelm you any longer. Reclaim your identity, revive your energy, and experience a life beyond just being a mom. I promise you, it's what God wants for you. If you're ready to say yes and no to missing out on this any longer, go head over to energyformoms.com and secure your exclusive offer today before it vanishes on February 1st. Again, that's energyformoms.com. The time is now, mama. Let's embark on this transformative journey together.